Hello YouTube, Bash back for the season 2.5 of the Pokemon Showdown League recap with the New York Mews. We went 9-1 with a plus 12 differential this season, and I'm very proud of this accomplishment because our only loss came to Angry Toaster, which I wasn't really that prepared, I felt like, and he had quite a scary team. So let's go into the season. So my team was Clefable, Zygarde, 50%, Darmanitan, Roserade, Mesprit, Alolan Persian, Megalopony, Zapdos, Blastoise, Registeel, and Miss Magius, with my Z users being Alolan Persian and Miss Magius. And the only transaction this I made this season was to drop Yon Mega for Miss Magius. And looking at this team, it's a pretty powerful squad. I was kind of surprised. Like, I was surprised that I was able to get Zygarde 50% because it was a tier 2 and it kind of put a lot of pressure on Mons to for people to prep for that and took a little pressure off of Megalopony to perform. So I, looking at this team, I wish I didn't use a Z crystal this entire season, and I kind of like maybe it was because of the Mons. Maybe I could like if I put it on Zygarde, maybe I would have used it more or on some other Mon. But I didn't use the Z Crystal once, and that's kind of unfortunate, I think, because I kind of regret that. But seeing as how the season went, I'm kind of happy in a way. So let's move on to the stats. So as you can see, Megalopony put in a lot of work this season with 16 kills and a 14 differential in 10 games I brought. I won 9 of them. And as you can see down below, I didn't bring Yanmega, the Pokemon I dropped, or Miss Magius, the Pokemon I picked up for it, to any games. So Yanmega, like, I was gonna bring it to a game, but it was actually against Justin, and it was a forfeit because he couldn't battle that week, and he had a forfeit, I guess. Um, but other than that team, Yamega didn't. Just couldn't really work Yamega into my like prep, and because of that, and it's 4 times weakness to rocks, I just couldn't. I just didn't feel comfortable bringing Yamega, and there was just a bunch of other mons that were better to bring that week than Yamega. Miss Magius, I picked up Miss Magius because I wanted a spin blocker along with a lot of like special attacking, um, to hit the psychic types and the grass types that give Megalopony and Zygarde 50% trouble. So I grabbed Miss Magius because it has Mystical Fire and has a lot of ghost coverage to hit those psychic types and those grass types. Now I didn't bring it to a single game. I was planning on it maybe, but like I guess I picked it up kind of late and it just didn't give it like once again there was other mons on my team that fit the team better that week, and I guess I just didn't break it. Registeel I brought to 2 games and I won both of them those games, but he didn't get any kills. He got 1 death, and Real Steel my Registeel. He was more. I just used it for more defensive checks to Mons, and it really didn't have to show up much because I had a lot of defensive pressure, defensive stuff as well, defensive mods as well. But like Registeel, when it came, it put in the work and gave me a lot. Like it made it easier for me to be put in a position where I could win because it could take those hits and set up those rocks or even take on a Jolteon, almost KO a Jolteon. So like, and put that down into like range of Megalopony, just fake out. So Registeel did pretty well this season, although I didn't bring it too much many games. I wish I brought like Cursed Registeel, like because I would have wanted to try out the set. Maybe if there was more weeks, and I would like if there's more weeks, I probably would have brought some more fun sets that I wanted to use, but uh, unfortunately, we went straight into playoffs. So Blastoise, until this season, I didn't realize how bulky Blastoise is. Assault Vest Blastoise just shuts down Volcarona and Manaphy. It's insane. And Blastoise has so many coverage options because of his Mega Blastoise. It has all these moves, and also it gets Rapid Spin, it gets removal, it gets ways to phase things out like the Roar or Dragon Tail, and it just put in a lot of work this season. Brought it to 6 games and won 5 of them. Um, he it did have a -3 differential, but that was only because I used it to take hits. And the one kill I believe came on taking down Entei in the semifinals, I believe, and it put in a lot of work. I thought defensively. Zapdos, I brought it. I brought this Mon only to 2 games, and I probably should have brought this to more. Seeing it is it's a tier 1 pick, and it won. It both times I brought it, it won, and there was times I wanted to bring it, but I like with my team, I was scared of like an ice weakness in a way, because I had like Roserade, Zygarde, and like Zapdos. And when I bring Zygarde and like Roserade, like there's one match I wanted to bring Zapdos as well, but like the I believe it was Weavile. I think it was probably Matthew's team. I wanted to bring Zapdos, but like it was kind of scary. It was kind of like Weavile just kind of ran through my team, but like other than Blastoise. So I kind of wanted to keep. I didn't really bring Zapdos as much, and maybe in the future, if I draft a team similar to this, I might grab like a lower tier Mon to open up space for other Mons. Because Zapdos, although it's a really good Mon, I just didn't use it as much, and I didn't use it as much and as efficient as I probably should have. Alolan Persian brought it to 4 games, won all 4 games, and it put in work. Like it tanked Victini's V creates and took out in the finals Trick Room V Create Victini, which was really impressive. The V Create for Victini Adamant only did like 25-35% if I remember correctly. So it did really well, I thought, and when I brought it, although I didn't bring it much, I I kind of upset that I didn't use its Z Crystal abilities at all when I brought it, like the Z Parting Shot. But like usually when I brought Alolan Persian, I usually brought a more defensive set, and I didn't really bring it for utility. I just brought it to like tank things with its fur coat. So Clefable brought it to 9 games, won 8, and this thing also was there because its two defensive abilities, allowed me to be able to choose which one I want, Magic Guard or Unaware. And a lot like towards the end of the season, I kind of like during playoffs, I tended to run more Unaware Clefable because of like possible setup mons. Like I believe it was Manaphy and Gyarados and like mons like that. So Clefable was a pretty good check for me, uh, and it did what it needed to do when it came. And honestly, I would consider drafting Clefable again, but it really depends on what team I have around it, because it really only shines when I have a team around it and another like a really good core with it. Darmanitan broke so many walls this season, and it was really the reason why Megalopoly was able to do so well, because Darmanitan, nothing wants to take a Flare Blitz from the Darmanitan. And this thing came to 7 games, and I only won 6, lost once, and it did have a negative differential, but that's because it was just there to weaken those grass types that give Megalopony trouble, and some psychic types too. They give Megalopony trouble. It was really there just to weaken his core, the opponent's core and defensive walls, to let Megalopony just sweep at the end. and it did its job perfectly in almost every match except for one. So I'm pretty happy with our mansion. I would definitely draft this again if I got a chance to. Zygarde 50%. I did not like. Well, I kind of used it sometimes pretty well, and it came up huge in the finals. And I brought it to every game along with, or brought it to every game, but unfortunately, I just didn't use it like as well as I probably should have. There's like, I was like, I didn't. It's really bulky, but like Mega Venusaur, like the one time in the playoffs, Mega Venusaur had Hidden Power Ice, and it just kind of like made Zygarde kind of useless after that. So I kind of didn't like I might draft it again, but it would really have to have the team around it. The team around it has to be good, to be honest, because it didn't do as well as I hoped it would. Roserade. Roserade became one of my favorite grass types to use in poison types to use in draft league format with technician hidden powers. I loved using it with toxic spikes and spikes. It had so much coverage. I brought it to 7 games, won 6, and it had 7 kills and 5 deaths. But like it really towards the end, it was more to set up um hazards. So it really like some of those deaths weren't really like real deaths because it was just there to set hazards. Um, Against Teddy in the earlier season, I brought it and basically it basically swept his team, which is pretty surprising for Roserade. Mesprit, biggest surprise on my team because it got 9 kills, 1 death, differential of 8, and every time I brought it, I've won. And it it came out of a game with 6 kills. And Choice Scarf Mesprit, don't underestimate it. If you don't have a dark type or don't bring a dark type, this thing could destroy teams with 105 special attack. It's pretty dangerous, and people don't expect it because most people expect it to be run defensively. Megalopony, best. I love to use Megalopony. It just revenged things. It swept things. It really put in a lot of work this season with 16 kills and a differential of 14. And I'm very happy to use it. And I would definitely use Megalopony again because it was one of my favorite. It was my favorite mon to use this season, other than maybe Mesprit. So I'm happy I got to use it. And let's go into the schedule. So we had a lot of wins this season, and unfortunately the one loss to Angry Toaster. It was his team was really good. He had like I believe he had Sand and he had Mega Camerupt, and I just didn't have really a good switch into it. And Blastoise got weakened, so but some of these games were crazy. Like Kurt, like Megalopony picked up 4 kills at the end of the game to sweep. Um, yeah. Against the Doctor, Mesprit killed had 6 kills. It was a good season, I thought, and I was really happy with our results. And Teddy, the win 2-0. Roserade came in, put in so much work. Um, Matthew came down to a damage roll that game. It was a good season, I thought. So let's go into the playoffs. Let's go overview of the playoffs. So we won the quarterfinal against Teddy, who was the 4th seed on my side of the conference, in my conference, and we won 3-0 with, as you saw in the video. I will put the links in the description. Um, it was a good game, but his Clefable kind of walled most of his mons. Easy Bake, Mesprit just kind of put in a lot of work to give us the 1-0 win, and then Matthew in the finals. Megalopony plus Zygarde put in so much work. I'm so happy with my team that we won. It was really close, to be honest. So next season, or the new games coming out, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and there's new coaches, new tiers, new Pokemon, and I'll be happy to I'm happy to bring that to you, and I'm very excited for next season. I'll try to use new mons. Um, Link comment in the description. Comment which kind of mons you would like to see me use in the future, and I'm gonna go. See it. I'm gonna go now and prepare for another match. So bash out.